pro hockey, the NHL. Hits, fights, saves, goals, whatever this is. Skating with sharp blades, with the purpose of putting a black circular object into the net. Yes, hockey, a sport where loud goal horn blows, fans cheer, mid-ice collisions. And this.
Here's a breakaway, look out! Hudson coming out! Oh!
The rules of hockey. There are always 5 players on the ice, unless they have one in the penalty box. Then there is only 4 or 3 players on the ice. Each team has a designated goaltender, known as the goalie. Tendy, if you are born under the maple syrup banner. Each team is allowed to have 6 players on the ice in total, and can replace the goalie for an extra player. Which is always the moment the other goalie has been waiting for his entire career. There are 4 referees on the ice. 2 head referees and 2 linesmen. The head referees oversee penalizing the players, and do this by raising their arm up in the air. And once the penalized team gets the puck, they blow the whistle.
Number 20, 2 minutes roughing. For what? For being a fucking idiot, Corey.
Play.
Fuck you!
Delay.
The fucking penalty! Get out of here!
Fuck you, you're getting a fucking...
Paul is a tough guy.
2 weeks for fucking roughing for the whole West.
Oh, sorry about that.
Hands out a 2-minute penalty. As the ref starts throwing up gang signs. High sticking. Elbowing. Cross-checking. Delay of holding. Slashing. And illegal hit on women. What? Okay, timeout. What the fuck is Whatever. If the opposing team scores in what is known as a power play goal, then it is the skate of shame for the penalized player back to his box. The game is played in 3 periods, each period lasting 20 minutes each. When a period is over, the ice car known as the Zamboni arrives, made by the legendary Frank Zamboni, who came from a place called Eureka, so it makes sense why he came up with that idea. Utah cold, lake freeze, but the Zamboni sprays hot water on the cold ice, which makes it ever so nice. Then the players come out again and say, oh wow, what a surprise, the ice is nice. The players are also not allowed to be over this blue line in the offensive zone before the puck enters the zone, otherwise it will be deemed an offside. Unwritten rules are also plenty in the sport. Touch the goalie,
your life is forfeit.
Players fight as having beats with each other to pump up the crowd and the team. Now, omitting all the obvious things about the various fan bases in the American-Canadian League called the National Hockey League, even though it is technically international. The fans are either calm or crazy, some borderline fanatical. The teams hoist a logo of their team, and here are a few I find quite funny to look at. The Vancouver Canucks, an orca, which looks like it is literally breaking its own back, trying to take a shit. Seattle Kraken, having the Kraken as their logo, but Seattle is here, and the Kraken is said to have lived here. On the other side of the fucking world. The Arizona Coyotes used to have a simple version of a coyote, until they decided to broaden their reach a little, with an anthropomorphic coyote on skates looking high as fuck.
You got some snacks? You got some snacks, bro?
Each team also feels their own mascot. Why they have them, I am not quite sure of. But I suspect there may be a hidden agenda in the sports industry around the world. But depending on which team you root for, and how far that team reaches into the playoff, the consequences of not performing well can have great repercussions on not just your team's morale, but also on the damages sustained to the city from the frustration and anger that the fan base felt by being snuffed out of another trophy of Lord Stanley, which is the trophy that they all compete for, the Stanley Cup. A trophy so venerated in tradition that it is considered one of the most sought after professional sports achievement in the world.
David is captain. The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche, and after 22 years,
Now, it cannot be understated that this sport also attracts certain kinds of strange individuals. From Brad Marchand, seemingly want to make out with the opposition, Marc-Andre Fleury, thanking his goalpost for making saves,
On the forehand carry, lets it go. That type of night,
to Sean Avery, who was known for waving his stick in the face of his opponents and talking absolute shite while doing it, and Alexander Ovechkin, known for his Russian dance abilities. The NHL has 32 teams and plays 82 regular season games, just like the NBA, which they tend to share stadiums with often enough. 16 teams qualify for the playoffs. 16 wins gets the team the Stanley Cup. And some teams purposefully tank at the end of the season to acquire the best draft pick, to the horror and frustration of the players drafted to that team.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
Now the NHL has many sponsors, but one of the most reoccurring one is that of Little Caesar, which is the official pizza sponsor for the NHL. Not sponsored, just very hungry right now. And just like all the other professional sports teams in the world, they are responsible for negotiating and maintaining good relations and such with their own personal sponsors. For example, the Toronto Maple Leafs has a sponsorship with Scotiabank for the naming rights of their arena. Same with Colorado Avalanche, who got Pepsi and somehow, despite that, became champions in 2022. For most teams, sport equipment and sponsorship in that regard is primarily with Bauer, CCM, True, and many more. Overall, I give hockey a completely unbiased and absolutely not rigged to my own personal opinion in the slightest score of 1 grain, 1 ski combined, 1 Mario, 2 fighting goalies, 1 broken trophy, and 1 tornado of rats flying onto the ice. Out of 9.
Vegas! Golden Knights!
I'm trying to get a good story. I'm a reporter now. I work for the local news.
Wow, you're really doing well for yourself.
I was on assignment. Take a look at this. Here's Detroit. And here's Detroit after the attack.